Hey, sorry for interrupting. This is Perry Kurtz, and I just want to tell you I've got a new podcast. I know you're saying, oh, great, another one. Well, this one's different. It's called Happy News with Perry Kurtz. Happy news, good stuff, things to make you feel good about life. We're going to be talking to famous and infamous people that are friends of mine and discussing the happy news. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, CastBox, and wherever you listen to your podcasts, as well as watching us on Binge On This on YouTube.
That was nice. That was definitive. Go ahead and speak to her.
Yeah, those girls over there like fucking turned around and were like, what the hell was that?
Hello, hi. Can you hear me well? You didn't bring a hair thing?
I did, but I'm a rock and roller.
Alright, guys. No. I mean, out of all, well, yeah.
This music was playing right above my head.
No, it'll be
He's
okay.
picking it up.
And if it is, it'll be alright. Because you know why? We have the best listeners in the world.
This coffee is hot as shit. Thank you, Denny. Sponsored by...
Welcome to another Denny's sponsored this, that, and the other. I am your friendly neighborhood co-host, Bryan. And as always, I am co-hosted by my friend...
Sam.
Slippery Sam.
Slim, slammy, slam.
Just sipping some delicious dark roast from Denny's, as always, a delicious sponsor of the show.
This shit's hot as hell.
Welcome to a long overdue, full, complete this, that, and the other episode. Right off the bat, we do want to thank you guys for listening to the last couple of What's Hoods, and even that partial this, that, and the other episode. It was nice seeing everybody still stick around, even though the team was half there. But as always, What's Hood is available for you guys to check out on all streaming platforms and on YouTube. Perry is actually coming back from a sabbatical. He's been a little sick lately, just because he's old. He's just old people problems. He's got cancer and all types of old people shit.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's not the flu or something, right? Because that'll kill him.
Right, which has been going around. Everybody has that. Yeah, the sun comes out right now, but he's going to be coming back. His birthday is coming soon. I think it's like the 9th of February or something. So he's actually going to be turning 69. Nice. 69. So Perry, we love you. Congratulations on making it to such a sexy number.
We could all hope
Let
to
me
be
get
69.
some notes up in here.
Yeah, man,
what
how's
do you
your
have,
fucking,
dog?
So I finally, I got inspired by a story of a story of a story.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered a briefcase off eBay, the same type of briefcase, same company of the briefcase that they used in Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
That had Marcellus Wallace's soul in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm writing a kind of like a 5-10 minute short around that, about these two filmmakers that, or this one who he's a collector and he got Quentin Tarantino's briefcase.
Okay.
And yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. I got a little golden tap light to put inside of it.
Nice.
You know, so I don't have to rig the whole like switch.
Yeah, I actually saw an episode the other day of what the fuck was it? I think it was like Community, where it was someone's birthday and they had bought him one of the briefcases. It was like an authentic briefcase from the movie. It had the little light in there and everything. And
Nice.
At the end, someone put the certificate inside of the briefcase and it got burnt up by the light bulb. And then it burnt the whole briefcase. It was like a whole thing, but
Yeah, cool. No,
yeah,
but this one is more like it kind of ended on more of like a mystical, like now the ghosts of Pulp Fiction are kind of after the dude.
Nice.
Yeah, where he's like, you know, a little poltergeisty at that point. But I was like, do I really want to go that way, or does he become like, or maybe Quentin Tarantino, like if I could find an actor that can do a good Quentin Tarantino impersonation, like his ghost come.
The ghost of Quentin?
Yeah, the ghost of Quentin come and haunt you, just being like, hey man, do you see this movie back from 1959 was directed by Soderbergh? And
Yeah.
you're like, Jesus, Quentin, just stop.
Yeah, that'll be.
Here, let me rip off another shot from another movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. But no, what is that? That's good.
Yeah, that's fun. And then I have another 10-minute
I
short
have
that
here.
I wrote. It includes just a bedroom, the tattoo shop, and a car. So easy to shoot.
Easy peasy stuff.
So I'm gonna start doing that, helping Jane out with her thing. We got it all set up. She got all of her dialogue ready for her course that she's putting together.
For what?
The singing course the online singing course she's putting together. I'm going to be filming it for her and editing it. So,
an online singing course?
So essentially, she's going to have like a 4-week course to help beginners and professionals help improve your singing. There's going to be exercises and things like that. So for like $6.99, you get 2 weeks of or whatever course, and then at the end she evaluates you. You do a conference call with Jane.
So she's gonna pre-record everything, and then you'll download it.
Yes. So everything will be pre-recorded. So and then people, they'll have to go through all the steps, and at the end she'll have a one-on-one with them over Skype. Or whatever, and evaluate their progress and let them know. And essentially it'll be the same. It'll just be like, yeah, you just got to continue to do that to get better. Yes, you are better from,
You have to take level 2.
Yeah, because it's just like push-ups. You start doing push-ups 4 weeks later, you're going to be able to do more push-ups.
Right.
So it's the same thing with vocal lessons. You do vocal lessons, all of a sudden you got a singing voice a little bit, So she's doing it for beginners and professional level. And so we're going to film that and get it together,
That's a pretty smart business model, I guess.
Yeah. She and so now she's putting it all together, or she already put it all together, and she's been practicing by herself in front of the camera what she needs to say for they're going to be 3-minute videos, 3-minute, 5-minute, edited with maybe her standing in front of a thing like she's talking about the diaphragm, where she'd pull, kind of do that, and then I just edit that in there and go back to her talking in front of her piano, and then she goes, okay, now let's try it, and then she'll go, yeah.
That'll be, hopefully that, yeah. What you got to do is get an app built for that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think there is singing apps out there, but...
right, but it's like...
It'll help, for sure. I think, we've been trying to come up with a name, and so if anyone has any ideas out there, please leave a comment next to the review.
Yeah, but don't trademark it. That's what I've been dealing with, trademarking the Binge On This.
Oh, why?
Well, because I spoke to an entertainment lawyer the other day. We were just having coffee, and I was asking him about LLCing and doing everything because tax season's coming up, and I'm trying to charge a lot of stuff to a lot of things and do a different stuff. He was like, I wouldn't even worry about LLCing, he said. He was like, I wouldn't even... You can still write everything below like a certain margin. He said it was like 60,000 or something like that, as long as you're not running up.
Oh, you're like, only 60,000, only 60,000. Thanks.
Well, as long as you're not like being like, we bought like 40 plasma TVs for Binge On This, and we're charging it off to the government. Like.
We wanted to recreate the scene in the Matrix when he finds the
main dude. Yeah, but we needed it to be really authentic. But he was like, what I would do, he was like, is I would work on trademarking yourself. He was like, trademarking your stuff. He was like, if you want to worry about like running everything under another name later on, you need to own that name. He was like, in the same way that you need to own your masters, or in the same way that you need to own your master reel.
Interesting.
He was like, so you need to worry about paying for copywriting and trademarking your name before anything else happens. And I was like, fuck. So I have a bunch of paperwork and stuff, because I was about to do an LLC. I was like, I've been wanting.
Because I'm looking into that too for my production company thing.
He was like, don't even bother. He's like, well, you're different because you're about to do something different. It's big money stuff. If you want to run big numbers and big monies, do that.
It's not like that. But I wanted to, like, if a script goes out.
I meant that's what he told me. He was like, you're not playing with big numbers. He was like, if you were playing with big numbers, then I would LLC. He was like, but you don't do any. He's like, your projects, anything that you do, everything that you do for your YouTube and everything, that's small stuff. He was like, what you need to focus on is owning your masters, owning the stuff that you've created, your master reel, your audio masters, any music you create, any songs we do, anything that like. He was like, you need to make sure that shit is trademarked under the Binge On This name, like. And I was like, fucking bet, dog, like. So that's my big mission. Not this year. Well, by the end of the year, yes, Binge On This network is going to be trademarked. Everything we do under Binge On This.
How much does it cost?
That's the thing. You have to You
like
have to
$800.
pay. It's like a whole thing. You have to pay. There's like a government bureau that you have to go through, and you have to pay them to evaluate the thing, and you have to know exactly what you want trademarked, and it can't change. And you have to. There's one point where you may even need to hire a legit lawyer so that he can kind of look over everything,
or set up the paperwork to be like this is like a basic umbrella trademark
chunk
thing, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately. So it's not something I can do right now because I'm in the rebuilding phase, but. It is something by the end of the year that I will be able to safely say I own the Binge On This.
What do you
network?
Yeah. And so what would be the ultimate goal? Is just so you keep going with the Binge On This?
Anything I do under it.
Will be under
scripts I write, any movies we make, any type of collaboration I do.
Like what I have Zozo Productions that I'm putting together. Okay.
But again, if you plan on doing big number stuff, then you need to concern LLC.
It's not a big numbers thing that I'm pretty much just going to be like anything
over 10 grand you need a LLC.
Yeah,
Is the way that he was putting it.
Because everything I've looked into, man, that's expensive too, and then you got to pay annually.
He was like, why even do any of that? You're not doing anything at all. You are not established. He told me you have no.
But even the trademark, don't you have to pay annually at that point? I don't know.
From what I saw, once you take care of trademarking, it's
yours.
Yeah. Again, I'm in the early stages of it. Like, I'm figuring all this out.
I'm sure Gene Simmons can give us a fucking good trademarking
Hey, you
lesson.
know who's really good at trademarking? The motherfucking Dutch and Duchess of Essex. Harry and Meghan Markle. They trademarked their names before they left the palace. And now, anything they use with that title... phones or liquor or magazines or
do they get to keep that after
all of it
after they leave the royal?
All the money. The only thing that changes is his or her majesty. So when they're addressed now, they're still addressed as the Duke and the Duchess of Essex.
Yeah,
but you don't have to say her majesty's Duchess. But yeah, they trademarked their name, and now anything they put their name on, they could make fucking shoes and put their name on it, and if people buy it, it's fucking their stock.
Yeah.
So,
I'm hearing people in England don't give a fuck about them, but
you look at it. I could see that. I could see it boiling that way, like building up for her especially, and especially him too, because if he'd been happy with being in the royal palace, welcome to Royal Palace Hour.
He was never happy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he had been happy, he would have stayed there and he would have done what his grandma told him to do, and he would have married some other lady to keep the line rocking.
White lady.
He wouldn't have married a half black chick. You know what I mean? Like, there was dissent from the get-go
what did
for
someone
him.
in their family say that she had some exotic blood?
Hell yeah, bro. That's gangster. and then she came out, you know what I mean? She came from here. She was born in L.A., you know what I mean? She's made her own money from Suits, from being thick. That's, whatever. Like, it's not like she didn't make an antidote to cancer or anything, but she was making her own money, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so she was used to paying her own way, and then she turns around and she has this whole dream wedding. She marries a prince, you know what I'm saying, and she's like, yo, I'm a legit princess. But then she gets into the royal family and they're like, Jack the Ripper, that was us, Vietnam, that was us. Like, aliens, like, everybody, like, welcome to the lizard family, like, and she's like, fuck this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm sure because their royal duties are constant. It never stops.
From what I saw, she's prevented or was prevented while she was part of the royal family to give any talks, to write any books, to do any type of self-helping, to do anything other than what the crown wanted her to do.
It's a full-time job.
24/7 job.
I get it. I understand why it is, because it's a job. It's not,
And they planned it so well, man. Like I said, that whole trademarking thing, they're going to make millions off of that. They're not going to need to...
I remember hearing that they were in Canada the week before, and then a week after it was like they might be leaving, and where are they leaving? And I was like, they're going to Canada, and that's when
went to Canada. They're going to spend some time up here in the hills in California.
Yeah.
She's ready, bro. She's going to come back. She's going to be on every talk show. She's going to be having every book. Money isn't going to be an issue. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to be hanging out with the Kardashians.
They still get to keep the fucking name, too.
I bet that's how she sold it to him, too. She's like, you want to hang out with Kanye?
Kanye, bro. Kanye's fucking wild, dog. All right. But yeah, so the trademarking thing is pretty much my big news on my end.
I'll check into that, too.
I would if I were you. Because, again, Yeah. That's where you want to own
So
it.
millionaires go around just trademarking words. It's almost like websites, domain names. How people back in the '90s started just like
They still do
buying-
that.
Yeah. But
They do it
like,
with Instagram handles.
Yeah. Now they're doing it with Instagram. I'm just saying, like, there was people that actually sat there and went, okay, like, Green Gardens. Okay, that's one. Red Gardens. They just made a list of just cool names. And then, like, years later, I watched this one thing, a documentary on a guy that years later, all of a sudden, he gets a phone call. Hey, you own this domain name, and he made $100,000 off of that. He started selling some of them, and like, yeah, he was killing it.
Hey, man, that's a good way to invest in yourself. Did you see the, speaking of bad investments or good investments, did you see the Serrone McGregor fight?
Oh, you see how much Dan Bilzerian lost on that?
How much?
It was a fucking table filled of money. It was like stacks of money on his long table that he bet.
Yeah, a lot of people lost some money on that fight. But it was,
McGregor,
hey, bro.
Yeah, it was
He came
good.
out fighting, bro. He came out to prove something. That goes to show you the type of dude McGregor is.
Yeah, he buckled down on this one. You could tell he buckled down.
He did
He was not kidding around. He
Oh,
went
yeah.
in there and he fucking took care of business.
And it was horrible, too, because one of the last things I heard before the fight started was Rogan going, and a lot of people say this all the time, and Serrone says it, too. He says, people say I can't win the big one, and tonight we're going to see if he can win the... And oh, man, and you're just like, wow, But as my new favorite podcast would say, Hotboxing with Mike Tyson, just simply getting into the ring, and throwing those gloves on is a victory in itself. You know?
Man, you made it to that.
Made that point and even.
I mean, but it's like losing the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. It sucks for Serrone.
If I was one of the Super Bowl losers, I would try to get those T-shirts that they already made that said they were winners.
And just try and confuse as many people as possible.
Just give it to
Just
all
have
your
them think that
friends.
you were from a different time.
Or just send it to all your friends that lost.
In
Just-
my timeline.
Yeah.
In my timeline, we won. I'm just keeping an eye on this motherfucker just because I'm looking at the battery. I'm giving it the best.
So
a lot of magic thing.
I might grab a boom mic with a.
I would.
Yeah.
You know what we do need? We need lavalier mics.
I looked into that, and
It's
that's
like
great and all.
$150 or something.
But if we're gonna film anything, kind of boom mics.
Yeah. With this?
Yeah. Yeah, but I was looking at the lav mics. I basically this last week was looking at both those, what to do. And it would be cool to pick up dialogue with a lav mic, but
It means we don't need a boom guy.
no, you always kind of need a boom. But you'll hear rustling. It depends on how far you are.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things, and it's like, well, if we could just boom it, you don't need lav.
Better
mic.
would be both.
Yeah,
Rock
but
and roll both
they're
of them.
fucking expensive, man. Lav mics.
Well, we only need the boom rack, right? Because we already have the mics.
It's not the correct mics.
Yeah, I know.
Because Jane has a mic that's just almost out. It looks like one of those shotgun mics,
Mhm.
and she's like, "No, that's more for blah blah blah." And I was like,
Yeah, but where'd she go? Berkeley? What does she know? All right, that's a good one. That's a good what we need, really.
Yeah, I'm looking into that because we need good sound.
We need
could
great
have-
sound.
We could have a camera, but we
We
just
could
need
have the
sound.
best actors and the best everything, but if we have shit sound, nobody's gonna hear a damn thing.
Yeah.
Or listen to a damn thing. What was I gonna say?
All right, that person doesn't know how to park, I guess.
Well, it's a one-way street, and people seem to forget that sometimes. I'm working on. Nah, see, that's a silly one.
That's a
on my
museum,
end
huh?
right there.
I just realized.
Oh, yeah. We're actually shooting out here live in the beautiful Westwood Village in front of Denny's. It's a wonderful day for us to sit here and...
They got Paul McCarthy's headspace drawings from 1963 to 2019. So it's just his doodles.
Just doodles. Can you imagine having a museum completely dedicated to your doodles?
John-
Imagine if
John
that was
Lennon
Da
had good
Vinci's
doodles.
thing. Oh, he did?
Yeah, he had really cool looking doodles.
You know who's really good at doodling? Kevin Nealon.
Really?
I didn't realize how good of an artist he was.
Huh.
He's like a legit good artist.
Wow. Check
Yeah,
that out.
it's not like stick figures. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey man, some stick figures you can make look really cool.
yeah.
Like
but,
that's what I mean. Like Lennon, his things were all like weird one line shit.
Yeah, but what did Lennon know? Is he a Beatle?
Yeah.
what do you guys know? What are you guys thinking about?
You guys like create a whole genre?
Yeah. But other than that, it was good. This is our first episode since before the new year, right? I
I
think.
believe so. A lot's happened.
Yeah, the last happened before the December show, and then after December, everybody went. We took a nice little sabbatical. Everybody needs, if anything, that's what today's thing is about. Is let's take a sabbatical. It's all it's good. The first month of the year is already come. We're about halfway, right? What's today? The 19th, the 20th. You're
kind of on a forced sabbatical, aren't you?
Huh?
You're kind of on a forced sabbatical.
No, not. I mean, I am kind of, not really. I've been working, but I mean, it's just. It's ironically enough, it's kind of in the same thing of if I were driving and if I don't hit my numbers during a certain period of time, I won't make my full payout total. And it's been happening recently while I'm kind of like, but I've been like this close. And so in the back of my whole thing, I'm like, oh man, like even in a car, like I could have potentially missed that. So yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for the rental people to give me a call back. So that I can go ahead and pick that up and kind of get back in motion.
Are they around?
They're just waiting for one to come and drop off so that I can go and pick it up.
Damn it.
Ads, right? What is it? What am I gonna do? What can I do? I heard today somebody at a meeting say they were like, I'm living in an answered prayer, and I have to remember that sometimes. Is what he said. I'm living in an answered prayer. And I have to remember that.
So he prayed once not to be a fucking junkie, and then now that he's
not a junkie. No. Well, if you want to, I guess if you wanted to say it that way.
And then this is what I am, so let's just remember that I asked for this, so here we are.
No, I think it was more of like, I asked to make sure that I didn't continue to keep messing up. And even though right now, things are bad, let's say because the car broke down or because I haven't been able to work, I have to remember that I'm not fucked up and not insane and not, jacking money and beating people up and pimping out my wife and shit, not me or your wife.
Wait, you kind of story.
No, any story in general, because what you were saying was that the dude prayed one day and was like, I don't want to be a junkie anymore.
I'm living in an answered prayer.
Mm-hmm.
To me sounds like I am living what I asked for.
All right.
So I got to remember that.
But it's not, I'm living what I asked for, even though it doesn't look like I'm not living it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sure.
That's why you're saying
sure, one day he was like, I don't want to be a junkie anymore. And then 10 years later, he's not a junkie. And that particular day, his car breaks down or whatever. His dog dies.
Yeah.
And then he's like, curse you, God, motherfucker.
I want to do meth.
Don't remember when you were sucking dick for meth? And he's like, you're right. Like, you're right.
He's like, my dog died, but
I feel you.
But I could have been dead, yeah.
But at least I'm not sucking dick for meth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for sure, I feel you. But at the same time, like, yeah, you have to remember that. Like, we could all be, dead several times over.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not kind of like, I'm not really stressed. Not stressed in that sense of like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, it'll be fine. Everything will kind of just come together.
How are you making money now?
I make money the same way I made money through Postmates. I just deliver food.
By foot?
No, on my bike.
So you got a bicycle?
Yeah, and I just bike around and I deliver food.
Okay. So what's going on with the motorized guy? The guy ever answer?
I have to go and check in on him. I hope he's okay because he didn't answer from any number that I called.
Yeah, you tried what? I remember.
So I hope he's okay, but
unless
I'm going to go check in with him.
Unless he had a throwaway phone. Just got a new one.
Nah, maybe. Yeah. Who knows? But either way, it's fine. I'm waiting on the rental to come in, and once I have that, I'll be essentially back at square one. But I'll be able to get the engine rolling up and moving again. So that's really my main priority.
Sucks that happened. Like they fucking.
Well, like I said, man, what are you?
For those who don't know what happened, Brian's car.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, Brian's car broke down, and it ended up being an electrical problem because it was in a bigger wreck than they told you.
Crazy, right?
And it wasn't salvage title. They basically kind of really screwed you.
That reminds me. Thank you.
And so then you dropped the car off, and like you stepped away from your payments, and but getting to that point cost a lot. It cost a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? I'm glad I had that money.
Well, right. Yeah.
I'm glad I was sober. Well, while all of it went down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if anything,
you could have been dealing with it in a lot stupider.
One of the things I do want to remind myself to do from now on, each episode, is to give myself, or my future self, or my future children's self when they're watching this, at my grave, dad advice. I want to start giving out life at one piece of life. Our new thing every episode. I want to give out you need to give out one piece of dad advice to your future self, to you or your kids. So whether it's like, remember to always carry kitty litter when you take a trip,
or when you're changing oil.
always replace the washer when you change your oil.
Or no, you got to get oil
filter.
on the thing. Yeah, you got to get oil on the tip of the
Boom.
filter.
So then, in 30 years or something, when you're like, look at how, you'll be able to, like, when you're dead from pancreatic cancer or whatever.
Well, I guess here's one. When you install a garbage disposal, and you have a dishwasher that connects to it, make sure there's this little hole on the side, and make sure you puncture that out with the screwdriver and a hammer, or else you will burn out the motor on your dishwasher. I learned this by going through 2 motors.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, food will be pills by then in the future, but in the event that we've reverted back, remember that piece of advice.
Damn, this sun is definitely hitting down.
Mine would be, if you buy a new car, whether it's used or it's from a dealer or anything, take it immediately within the first few days to a mechanic that specializes in that vehicle. Have it checked out immediately. Have it checked out immediately, and then don't risk it on a vehicle that's been in an accident. You're already buying a used car. There's no need to cheapen yourself anymore, just because the mileage is low or the used car salesman has given you such a good offer that you can overlook an accident. Too good to be true.
Yeah, it's usually too good.
That would be my piece of dad advice.
Well, that's always the thing though. Like I did that with my truck. I brought it to Jace.
Yeah, but see, I didn't do that on mine.
Yeah, actually, I had Jace on the phone at every truck I walked up to.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Okay, what do you see?" And I'm like, "Well, I see whatever, a Toyota fucking Tundra or whatever the fuck car is." And he's like, "Okay, well, here, get on your hands and knees by the front left tire. Look under this thing. Do you see any oil?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, no, because after
capillaries are fucked up."
Yeah, he would say some shit, and then he's like, "Yeah, these things start breaking down after 100,000 miles." Yeah, he had me climbing underneath fucking trucks and lots. People
That's
coming
good,
up.
though.
And I'm like, I'm good. Oh, I had the phone. I'm like, oh, give me a second. Yeah, before we even talk.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's something I should have been prepared for from the get go, but it happens.
Have a mechanic friend is what we're saying.
There you go. Have a mechanic friend whose brother is crazy. But no, that's what do you? I guess. You're right. It sucks. There's very little, I think. I mean, you go far back enough, and there's obviously stuff that you can change. But this is one of those rare situations that I can tell myself, for the most part, there wasn't too much that I did in the wrong. You know what I mean? I didn't.
You ride your car a little rough, but from that, they had nothing to do with that.
Nothing. Yeah. So I'm okay, kind of at peace, and in that sense, and like I know that things.
Yeah, it's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, and you know what? Other motherfuckers have had worse days. I mean,
you could have been stuck with that car.
Could have been stuck with that car. Could have the power could have died out on the interstate, and I could have.
It could have exploded into a fireball.
I could wake up with herpes one day and just be like, the car, like
the car gave me herpes.
The car gave me herpes. A lot of stuff could have happened. So as of right now, it's okay. 2020, they you look at it from an outside perspective and you say, ooh, it doesn't look like it's going that well. But it is. It's going fine. You're waking up every day, dog. You're moving. You're alive. You're eating. You know what I mean? Come on. Things are going well. The commies haven't started popping up from the sky like Red Dawn
I wish they would.
I heard LL Cool J, who, by the way, very interesting character for LL Cool J.
Oh, yeah. Ladies love Cool J.
Well, that too, but he's very smart. He's a very, you wouldn't. It's like one of those things where, like, I grew up under this assumption that, like, Michael Jordan spoke like he did in Space Jam, like, very eloquently and very professionally, but then you hear his interviews and, like, you hear him and you're like, oh, shit, you're from the streets, homie, like, you bald, like, you know what I mean? Like, same thing with LL. Like, I always assumed LL was very, like, kind of, like, very, like, oh, hello, but, like, as soon as he's just normal LL, you're just like, fuck, like, you're from Queens, homie, like, you're
But
from the streets.
he's a smart dude from Queens.
Very smart, man. Very smart. Very well educated. Like, he's very well versed. You know what I mean? Like, and he's.
I believe, if you're not an idiot and you're doing all that stuff, business goes. You know a lot about business. You know about lawyers. You know about copyrights. You know about a lot of things. And then he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, no,
So
he's very well versed.
He's definitely not a dumb guy.
No, he's very smart in that sense. He was telling a story about, and again, it was just more to solidify my whole feelings about trademarking everything or anything that I come up with. He was saying he wanted an advance on an album once, and he went up to speak with Russell Simmons, and when he asked him for the advance, Russell moved from side to side in his chair, and he was like, and LO was like, that's when I knew. He was like, in 5 years I could be begging this dude for money because I need it. He's like, and I didn't want to be in that position. He was like, I'm gonna go, and he was like, and so now I own everything I do. I go out and have every other avenue, and I was like, hell yeah, bro. Like, I feel that, bro. And no, it was very interesting to kind of hear him. He was talking about Alexander and the Alexander the Great. Not my buddy Alexander. Well, Alexander the Great.
Like,
and me would have been
Alexander.
buddies.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, I know that guy. Alexander the Great. And he was talking about a whole bunch of stuff. But no, I really enjoy that. That's my podcast shout out for the week. Hotboxing with Mike Tyson. You gotta love Mike, man.
I'm listening to Just Shoot It.
What's that?
It's a podcast on filmmaking.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's two guys, and they always have a guest, and it's usually a guest who's made a movie, a few movies, TV, producer, whatever.
That's cool.
It's from all different aspects, and it's great because like the beginning part is just them for 15-20 minutes just talking shop, like what he's doing, and they work in TV, they work in movies, so it's like, it's literally talking shop where I'm like, what does that mean? And I have to look it up, and it's like they're just talking, I don't know, and it could be anything.
It's just set jargon.
Yeah, set jargon. And so it's kind of cool to keep that right there, and but a lot of interesting things.
That's good to find a podcast that, as we blow other podcasts on our podcast, but it's good to find other podcasts that genuinely teach you things. When it's not just like, God bless it, I love all my Dungeon and Dragon podcasts, and I love
or the Skanks, Legion of Skanks, all those that I listened to. Like the other day, it was a long time since I've listened to them. Was How Did This Get Made?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't listened to them in a while, and I listened to it on the.
It's because all they do is live stuff now.
Yeah, and it was funny, and like, yeah, I kind of crack up, but I kind of stopped halfway because then I go back to the other directing things and stuff so I can like listen. I'm like more interested in that because I'm actually learning some shit,
right?
Or getting inspired to do something, or just being like, okay, this is what I need to do,
yeah.
As opposed to just laughing. And yeah, I kind of got shitty with Jane about that too a couple weeks ago because she got
laughing.
No, she got lazy with her. She's had this idea for this class things, online course thing for a while, and she was supposed to get it done up, and she was just fucking around every day. It was just like watching something that has nothing to do with anything, or you know what I mean? Like she's playing video games, and she's like, "You can play," and I'm like, "No, I'm busy. I'm writing in the other room."
Right.
Trying to get shit done, and then finally the other day she's like, "I really need to get this thing going." I was like, "Yeah." Every time you sit there fucking playing a video game, or or whatever, or I just don't feel like it. It's like you got to fight through that shit.
Got to do it when you don't feel like it, man.
That's when you do it.
That's when you do it, bro.
Yeah,
that's when you do it.
I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning, started writing. Like, you get it.
You gotta go out there.
Speaking of, I'm gonna film this thing, so I don't know if you want to act in it or not. I'm not acting in it. I'm just gonna be filming. Like I'm holding the camera and filming it. And
All
stuff.
right, sounds good.
But I need. If you know anybody else, I'll show you the script.
Okay.
I need another actor.
Yeah, Mike Tyson said that, and the exact same thing. People, and it's so funny. People ask him on the podcast. It's like the podcast turns about interviewing Mike Tyson, and you're just like, that's not what this podcast is about. It's like, I want to hear, but again,
it's about DMT half the time.
or the toad. But he was like, yeah, man. He was like, nobody likes to get up and train every single day. He was like, nobody likes to get up at 5 and 6 in the morning and run
fun.
16 miles and do the heavy bag and do everything like that. He's like, he was like, that's not what he was like. But if you want to be a champion, you gotta put through that. You gotta push through that, and you gotta give it 100%. And when you're just like, yeah, like.
No, that's why a lot of people from broken home environments do well in that, because there's a lot of suffering going on inside and outside.
Yeah.
So that's why they
I just had to let the anger out.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I always wear black when we come to fucking Denny's, dog.
Yeah, dude, you sweat a lot
Every
in our
time
podcast.
when we come to Denny's. All right, let's talk about some. There's one
We
particular
could've been
note that I
sitting-
have.
The camera's in the shade.
Yeah, but look how good we look. With all this natural light.
You look great, man. You're really shiny.
Why do you think you always get dabbed up while you're acting? Let's talk about Oscars coming up, big dog.
Why the fuck would I talk about Oscars coming up?
Because
did I get invited?
One of the notes that everybody keeps on talking about in the Oscars is that not enough women were nominated.
We'll make a better movie, women.
Honey Boy wasn't nominated.
It's not. Yeah, because the other movies blow it out of the water. Honey Boy was nice.
What was the other movies? I'm about halfway through Parasite right now.
Oh, I watched that the other day.
I'm about halfway through it.
I liked it.
Yeah?
It's Korean. It's Asian jokes. In Snowpiercer, that dude's
Yeah.
that
Snowpiercer was good.
that style, like not that style, but I just mean that dude's. He's almost like an M. Night Shyamalan. He has his own thing that he does.
The Korean M. Night Shyamalan.
Pretty much, and everything he has to do with is class warfare.
Yeah,
has to
yeah.
do with rich, middle class, lower class, and it. So I mean, the guy always has a message in his things. I enjoyed it. The ending.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Oh yeah, but anyway, Jane loved it till that, and then I liked it just because it elicited stuff out of me, so I was just happy with it.
Yeah, everybody that I've talked to so far about Uncut Gems or Diamonds has said it was a good movie.
Uncut Gems, yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, so I definitely wanna watch that as well. And I heard people are mad that Sandler got snubbed for a
that
nomination.
one I could understand for Best Actor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really?
not best movie.
Mm-hmm.
Screenplay was good, but he killed it.
One of the movies that I feel like should have gotten a little
1917
press.
is gonna kill it.
Oh yeah,
That should
one-
be for
that one's gonna be great.
cinematography. I don't know about acting.
Yeah.
I mean, walking in a daze as explosions go around.
Right.
you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
That's
could do
not
that.
great. The explosions are actually happening, so it's very easy to.
Yeah, like they stuck you in war, and you're like, okay, let's film this guy now.
Yeah. The Lighthouse with William Dafoe.
I
and
didn't
Robert
watch that
Pattinson.
yet. Maybe as best original screenplay, possibly.
Yeah, it was good.
I heard the score was good.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it though. I haven't watched it yet.
it was good. I really enjoyed it.
No.
It got weird.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But someone told me, and when I watch it, it's probably going to be in the back of my head, that it seemed like a screenplay that could have gone anywhere. There was a bunch of ideas, but it never went anywhere. Meaning like, oh, it could have been mystical. It could have been seaworthy. Oh, it could have been a ghost. It could have been, is he a murderer? Like there's so many different things that could have happened that they could have picked from that they never did.
That's kind of good though. I mean, at least when I
I
walked
don't know. I
away,
gotta
I
watch
was
it.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, like that's something that I could kind of like roll with.
I don't sometimes agree with the people in my class about certain things, like movie, but that's what one person said, and I was like, yeah, okay, let me see.
Yeah.
But again, I heard like, first of all, don't you think the Oscars were very well aware that there wasn't enough women or people of color? You don't think they had a table full of executives going, okay, so these are the nominees, and not one person was like, there's no women? It's probably on the forefront of people's thoughts, except
Here's my concern:
there's money involved, and this is a popular.
Yeah. I mean, everybody. We all we're here to remind you guys that it's all money. Money makes the wheel greasy and dirty.
Who said it to Weinstein? There was a footage of someone who opened a letter or was doing a joke at an award show, and he said to Weinstein,
Gervais or something.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, it's not like, oh, no." He said the winner bought to you by Weinstein Company.
Yeah. That's really what it comes down to is who you pay to make sure that, hey, go look at my boy, he's in this movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead and toss your vote. Toss your Academy vote over to my boy over there.
Yeah. Or I was listening to these first time, second time directors that started off as assistants a lot of these people that make it quick started off as assistants, and
Mhm.
the reason is because they're the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
They're the gatekeepers to everything because they show their bosses, hey, this is a good script.
Yeah.
This is a good script.
Yeah.
They're the first ones it goes through,
Yeah.
or who they start showing it around to them. I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about where they hang out and stuff, and I was like, man, if I just get one of my screenplays and just start peppering it, you know, like in that when I told you I was going to make it into a book. Anyway, long story short, they're the gatekeepers, and dude wrote a script, shows it to his friend, and he said he didn't tell him it was from me. His friend liked it, so they kind of pushed it up through the rings, and then when it started getting like heat from their bosses, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, it's me, you know. Another guy, same thing. He's like, oh yeah, I wrote this script, so, you know, I showed it to my boss, and yeah, motherfucker, you're right there.
Yeah.
You know, like if my boss was Spielberg,
Right,
and I had
right.
a bunch of stories and I showed it to him, he'd be like, hey, this is cool.
Yeah.
Of course, because I'm right in front of him.
Yeah.
You know, put another.
That's why you got
creative-
to go be an assistant.
Yeah, no. I just mean like it was weird how these motherfuckers have like a shortcut.
They chose the right. I mean, that's just one, you know,
Yeah.
one way of going about it. You know, I can't really,
True. I'm not hating, but
can't
I'm
really
just kind
knock
of like,
that.
wow, that was.
Because we could go
Because
work
even
our
the
way
dudes,
up.
even the dudes on that podcast were like, wait, what? This was your, this was your second script that you wrote ever?
It's all about who you know, baby.
Yeah,
It's all about who you rubbing elbows with.
yeah.
You know, and that's why being a nice, even, calm, keel person, that's why it's so important out here, you know, in my opinion. You know, it's so, to always just be nice.
Unless
and
you're a
just-
director, you could be a little eccentric in how you dress.
Right? Yeah. You got to spend a little extra time at the thrift store.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was funny. The only thing that separates a rich dude and a poor dude on the street, other than, you know, because they dress the same,
How much they paid for their rags?
is one is willing to eat a cup of noodles in public. You know, like the other one isn't. That's how you'd be able to tell your difference.
What do you mean?
Like we could right now, you know, we could, you know, we're kind of slumming it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you could be worth $100,000, you know, wearing $100,000, and I could be wearing $10.
Yeah.
You know, nobody would be able to tell the difference. You know,
Yeah,
until I ate a cup of
Have you
noodles.
seen Gwyneth Paltrow's fucking website that has all of her clothes and beauty line products and shit like that?
And the vagina smelling candle?
Yeah, well that, but also like the one shirt. There's like a shirt. It's like a
Yeah.
little V-neck shirt, and it's like $600.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, and Kanye selling his rags for however much. What the fuck is wrong with people buying that?
They have money. They want to spend it.
It's other rich people that want to look like raggedy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
why that, it's like when you think about Weeds and how she started marketing to rich people by buying fancy boxes and selling the eighths and like
Yeah.
really glorious little, even though it was just like a normal fucking eighth, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so it's just, yeah, that's it. You know, hey, if we could start selling T-shirts for, you know, $50, $80,
Yeah, but that thread count better be fucking smooth.
good sick ass
Yeah.
Egyptian silk, 5,000 thread.
Yeah.
Is that how high they go? Can
Yeah,
they go
yeah.
more than that, right? Like 100,000.
I don't know.
What does Spielberg sleep on? We got to get his assistant on the line.
Did you hear they made a synthetic spider silk?
Synthetic spider silk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. They use like goat's milk or something like that, and something else.
Can you hang off of it or?
Well, that was the problem, is that it's very hard to get enough of it. It's the strongest thing on our planet, and so it's like very valuable,
Mhm.
and you can't get enough of it to make like a bulletproof vest. But if you had enough of it, you'd definitely be able to make a bulletproof
Out of
vest.
spider silk?
Yeah, and it's super strong, and it's bendy and movable, but like still does, you know. Anyway,
So why don't we start a spider farm then? Why don't you just start a spider's farm and let them?
but that's what I mean. It costs so much to have even a spider farm and to get the silk. They don't produce that much. Anyway, long story short, now they're able to, I guess, because they use some kind of enzyme and like goat's milk and something, and now they get to make
So
synthetic.
now the spiders make extra.
Well, no, now I guess they can.
Oh, it's handmade.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the machine like makes a bunch of silk out of this same. It's the same thing that comes out, and I was just like, that's interesting.
So
So
we're
now
one step closer.
we might have silk armored tanks coming soon.
That'd be very cool. And the thing is, somebody got into that 5 years ago. Somebody put money down.
No,
on
I
some
heard of
type
this shit
silk
like when I was a
industry.
kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, silk is one of the strongest things ever. It's very hard. They're trying to figure it out. Blah blah blah. As a kid, I remember this.
Back in the 80s?
Yeah,
Damn.
when it was black and white.
Yeah.
When they sent a man to the moon.
When everything was black and white. That would be very cool, you know? That just brings us one step closer to a real life Spider-Man, you know? Somebody who can actually shoot out, you know, Put little silk pads.
Wouldn't it come out of their dick then, or ass?
No, not that. It's real Spider-Man shit, bro. I saw somebody actually made real Spider-Man, like
The
a
web
real,
shooter?
yeah, a real web shooter, but it's like nylon silly string thing. Like
It doesn't hit the side of a building.
it'll hit it and it'll stick to it, and like, but you can't.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to
from it.
hang from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be something that we see in our lifetime. But maybe my grandkids who are watching this video.
I used to always think, because Spider-Man's, the cartridges that he puts in his wrist thing,
Mm-hmm.
he created that apparently. So he's like the smartest high school student ever.
Yeah.
They
In some lines, his old man created it.
Well, the original, he
backed
created
it.
it. He shoots it. It sticks. He can use it. And then an hour later, that dissipates.
Okay.
So they dissipate an hour and a half later. Because, or else you'd have spider silk everywhere all around the city. But no, they explained it by saying that it dissipated. But then I was like, so does it have a shelf life in the cartridges? Did he make like, does he have to date them? So I remember thinking, like, does he have it in his fridge? Does he have a little fridge in his room trying to keep it from his aunt? A bunch of cartridges all dated and stuff.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
That'd
know.
be
That's one
that'd be
tangent.
the new Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Redux, New 52.
That'd be the most boring, like, him dating his fucking cartridges.
just like a bottle episode where he misplaces one. He's like 189, 191.
What the? I watched the Far From Home.
Oh yeah,
It was good.
it was all right. You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. No, it was all right. I love Mysterio. That's why. I'm a big Mysterio fan. And they got the effects guy.
Yeah.
So they did a good job with
Well, they did a weird thing where he like worked for fucking Stark and worked
Yeah.
in the 3D division thing,
So,
like, which was a cool little tie-in.
Yeah. It was a cool time. Problem is, I've been watching the Corridor Crew. Shout out to Corridor Crew.
Mhm.
Fuck, they don't need a shout out. They got millions of subscribers.
Right.
I watch their videos, how they kind of talk about effects.
Mhm.
Good effects in movies.
Mhm.
So now I'm noticing all effects stuff, and they all kind of suck. So if you look at any Avengers, any of those guys, look at the neckline.
Mhm.
Just look at the neckline. Forget about the rest of the costume. Just look at the neckline when they're talking. Oh my God, man! Once they said that,
It's the
that fucking movie.
yeah. That's the problem with such good TVs, man. That's why I've never liked good TVs. But I remember when Avatar first came out, and like you would walk through Walmart or you would walk through the TV section,
Yeah.
you would be watching it, and you'd be like, "This just doesn't. This looks like."
I need some sort of grain.
Yeah, I was like, this is weird. It's computer. It's smooth. I was, and I've said that for. I mean, I love. Obviously, you know, you look at it as close as you want, you know, to get what you want out of it. Like, and I still really enjoy those movies, but you can just tell, yeah, when some of these movies are just like dipped in green, like just really dipped in green, you're just kind of like, fuck, man.
I
like,
remember this was the first time when 3D TVs were coming out. This is and my cousin was house sitting for this dude who actually got an Oscar for helping write Raging Bull.
Nice.
He had nothing to do with the filming, but he helped write it. So he got, like, you know, it's one of those Oscar wins where you don't.
Yeah.
You just kind of get one in the mail. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just because you're part of the team.
You're like,
Anyway,
sick.
long story short, the guy had a badass 3D TV, the newest fucking coolest thing.
Yeah.
I walk into the house. I'm talking with my cousin. I look over, and there was Lord of the Rings playing on the TV. But I kept looking at it, and I was talking to him, and I'd look at it again. He's like, what's up? And I go, why is there a Lord of the Rings play? Like what's with the play? Like, it's kind of cool.
Oh.
I thought it was a stage play
Yeah, because so.
of Lord of the Rings because you could tell what was a prop tree. They were props.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I was like, this is a play. It was so weird.
Weird.
And he goes, no, that's the movie. And I had to like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I was watching, and I was like, no, guys, you too much.
Too much. Let's calm down and remember that we're trying to sell this.
Same
as
thing
a
with Star
dream.
Wars, man. When you see the Star Wars now, you're just like, no, dude, some softness is lost. That's why this whole Western thing.
The
I
Mandalorian?
talked with another guy. Well, I don't know.
Oh.
I'm talking about my Western. I've been talking to cinematographers. I've had a couple of other meetings with different cinematographers, and I found this one guy that was like, if you want to spend more on film, you know, I was like, no, I don't. I want less. And he has this old ass lens that apparently was one of the lenses they used on The Shining that he spent like over $100,000 on. This dude, he works for FX. And I was like, what the fuck? And he showed me some of the things that he filmed, and it gives some of that that oldness, but he filmed it on a new camera, and he goes, yeah, man, new cameras, old lenses.
Oh yeah.
Old lenses, or vice versa. Like you always kind of go vice versa. If you have an old camera, go brand new lens, because that shit, you're gonna see it. It's gonna be too much. But anyway, I don't know how I got on that tangent. Cameras.
I was trying to think too.
It's too crispy. So he was trying to show me, like, yeah, man, because I was like, dude, every Western I see now sucks. It's too crispy. So I think the Mandalorian, they do it on film.
That I'm not sure about. Even on that shit, you can. But they use more props in that. Is kind of my thing. Is like it's more reminiscent of.
Well, the last Star Wars movie, they used film to give it that feel.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Nice move. Wait, on The Last Jedi?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to someone the other day. My buddy Drew, who came to visit. We were talking about The Mandalorian, and I was like, I was really enjoying it until we hit episode like 5 or 6 or something, and they go to visit like another planet or something, and as soon as they got there, it felt like it felt like those old episodes of Stargate, when they would go to new planets, and you could tell they were just in some forest in Washington, and the wood people are there, and they're like, what are you doing in your metal giraffe machine? Right. But it was like that corny kind of realness of it. And I was like, yeah, once we hit that point, I kind of felt like we were watching a sci-fi movie.
Well, that, but also it's a TV show. It's not a movie.
Right. And after I told him that, later on, a couple weeks after I looked at it, I went back and I rewatched it, and I was like, you know what, I kind of appreciate that. Like, I appreciate that it's real. You know what I mean? That they were out there. If you go and watch that episode, they're in Washington or some shit. You know what I mean? Up in real woods. Like, it's not just one prop tree and then digital trees everywhere else. Like, yeah, they're like using real props, and they're painted green, and it looks like fucking Star Trek. Like, and I think as we get a little bit closer to making fake things look realer, we're gonna want more of that old school kind of feel where there's some type of distinction. I was so
surprised it took him this long to figure out to use props, animatronics.
Well, it costs a lot more.
Not really.
To use like a prop?
Dude, okay, so what? This is what I've always said, and now they're finally doing this shit. So let's say you have a big creature, right?
Okay.
Big dude. Get a guy in a suit, right? Get everything green screen to face.
Yeah, but I'm thinking just from money point of view, in their mind, it's going to be cheaper to send it off to Korea and have them FX it.
They're not sending it off to fucking Korea.
Oh, yeah, they are.
No, not Mandalorian.
What did we know though? Maybe
no,
Disney probably sends it to China.
No, because everyone that I'm talking to about that VFX stuff, and Homeboy had a VFX, the guy with the lens had a VFX guy. No, not it. I'm sure they have teams like there's a company with like a team out there, but like all their houses, they have their own indoor effects houses and stuff. I don't know about like movie networks. I don't know how it would work that way.
Well, I guess I meant like, say you're running a sci-fi thing. You know what I mean? I'm not show? Disney. Yeah, let's just say sci-fi.
Or the TV channel.
Right. You're just doing a sci-fi thing. Like when it comes down to like, okay, we're here at the apex against the Schlemiel beast. Like, what's going to be cheaper?
You would have to have a VFX coordinator on set to help coordinate that. Hopefully, especially for anything on sci-fi. Yeah,
I think that'd still be cheaper than building a whole prop.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like on Star Wars, they finally started doing both.
Mixing it
instead of 100% one, 100% the other. Now they're actually mixing.
For sure.
Like, fuck it, man! I could have told you this.
The nice middle part.
Well, and then you start watching some things nowadays, and you don't do that. You're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. No, it was a good balance. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it because it's very. I just wish he killed. Like, his whole thing is he doesn't want to kill right now or whatever, and I'm like, no.
Boba Fett?
That particular Mandalorian, yeah.
What?
Well, he has a kid now. He's got Baby Yoda. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's real Disney Plus now. It's still good. It's like, he's like, I can't kill in front of this baby. Like,
dude, what is up with...
And it's all like, whoosh, 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 yeah.
What is up with everything getting so, like, nerfing everything?
Because they want to make us weak, make it easier for us to get invaded. They're just trying to make it easier for us to become more subservient to our Chinese masters. You know what I mean?
Lame.
They're just making it easier for them to just pop right in and just be like, oh, hello.
Americans will never, that can't happen. What I'm saying is it's like people's sensibilities of like being able to watch something.
I think it's just waves, man. I'm just waiting for the next
70s. I'm waiting for the next 70s. So all the movies are gritty and dark. And
Well, I remember once we were talking back in Arizona, and you were like, what we need to do, you were like, is we need to plan ahead for what the next wave is.
Yeah.
You know, whatever's going to happen in the next 2 years is what you want to start writing out or what you want to plan.
Well, what happens is it's nostalgia. I was listening to the whole thing on nostalgia recently, too, which is weird. How nostalgia is big right now. Nostalgia's always been big, though. But nostalgia's 20 years behind.
Right.
So right now it's all like the Stranger Things and things like that.
The 80s.
Yeah. So the early 90s are coming in. We're doing the
That's
early
why
90s.
Bad Boys is back.
Yeah, we're doing the early 90s right now, and then we're basically shifting that up. So here soon it's gonna be to 2000s.
Now it'll be National Treasure 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't care what anybody says. The first National Treasure, good fucking movie, bro.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
You know what I mean? Like,
it was really good.
That's a complicated script too, because you have to build like.
A mystery.
Or do you think it is? I actually had. See, that's what I get. I have all
basically
these
just melded Tomb Raider into the American.
Because you think in that scenario you work backwards?
I would definitely see what our main American national treasures are: the Declaration of Independence, the Bell, Jefferson. I would definitely do a lot of research on all that, and then find out. Oh, he's got wooden teeth. Fucking Washington. Like maybe there's a key in there. You know, I would start.
Man, you're right. You're right.
I would have to kind of plan those out.
How
and then,
difficult must that have been to like be in the writing room and then be like, okay, but then what if he finds Abraham Lincoln's stovetop hat, right? and like, and someone's like, no,
he's gonna punch the bottom of it out.
I like that. No, I've always enjoyed that. Like, you know, the Da Vinci Code, like things like little treasure hunts. I think.
The problem
are
about
like,
the Da Vinci Code though was that I watched that.
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
Probably I read the book and then watched the movie, so I was just kind of like.
The book's good, but then that's the Dan Brown formula.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because again, I read Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code.
He has another one before then too.
Anyway, I was 4 Dan Brown novels where I was just like, I'd be 5-10 pages in, and I'm like, that's the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's this dude. It's all the
But
same.
hey, that's why you go to Denny's, because you know when you sit down for one of the grand slams here, you're not only going to be getting 3 delicious fluffy buttermilk pancakes, but your choice of eggs as well as ham, bacon, and sausage.
Served to you by Tom Hanks.
So go to your closest Denny's. One of the things I wanted to close out with, I was watching something and they did a cutscene to a Seinfeld episode. And, you know, there's a distinct way that Seinfeld is written.
Okay, yeah.
Like where you could read, like there's some scripts that you read and you're kind of like, I don't get it until I can see people kind of in my head either doing it or you see someone reading it out loud or running through it. I have always felt that when it comes to a Seinfeld episode, there's such a way that Larry and the rest of the writing crew wrote where you could read it and you would be like you could feel it. Do you feel that when you watch Seinfeld, like, or any other?
I didn't read any Seinfeld scripts, but you also have to take into consideration that those iconic characters are in your head. So when you're reading it, you're hearing it in their iconic voices.
I think that, yeah, maybe that's what it is too. Like parodying. Parodying a well-known show has to be a lot easier,
Yeah.
Writing-wise, than it would be coming up with a whole nother show. You know what I mean? Because you have to adopt that feel in that language. Like your little Quentin thing that you're writing, like you're trying to embody a Quentin-esque, or if you were to try and write like an homage to Quentin, you would try and write within that Quentin.
Yeah, I would have very long dialogues and flashy camera work.
Right. You know what I mean? But would you be able to sit down and read, let's say, Django, the script of Django,
I don't know.
without, like, if I were just to give you the script of Django and not tell you that it wasn't Quentin, you have never seen Quentin, you know, the Django movie, and you tried and read Django through, would you be able to tell?
By the 10th N-word? Yeah.
Well, okay, Django's a bad fucking example. You're right. Foxy Brown or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I probably would.
But do you feel like if I gave you a script where the first character, whose name was Bill or something, was like, what's the mons pubis? And the female character, Shirley, was like, the mons pubis is the welcome mat to the pleasure zone. And, you know, I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what you're trying to say. I think there's certain scripts that you can read where,
you can hear the person's flavor. Yeah.
But I think it's a lot harder to fake that than people think.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, again, you know, reading other people's scripts in my class, like, you could definitely tell some people use a lot more adjectives and adverbs. Some people are more, you know, what it comes down to is that some people should write poetry and some people should write books. Some people shouldn't write. Some people, and they all try to be screenwriters. And when
do you ever read a script in that class where you're like,
you should be a fucking book writer instead of a novelist?
No.
I think that a lot.
A script where you're like, whoa, this is exactly like
it's only
The Rock.
No, but I've had a couple
like,
times.
Damn, this shit's like Heat.
There was only one time where I read a script where I went, this thing is tight.
Not your own work.
No. No, I remember reading one script, and at the end, I was just like, this thing was tighter than a snare drum. This thing was so tight.
Yeah.
So good. That's happened maybe once or twice.
Maybe I guess my whole fixation of it is television writing, is emulating. Is why can't, let's say, a show, and that's probably just time related, why can't a show like The Simpsons manage to carry the voice that it carried from season 10 to season 15 into season 25? And it's because it becomes difficult to emulate
yourself
or another writer, I guess.
Yeah, but no, you're not emulating another writer. You're emulating the voices of the characters. But as times change, as the format sort of changes, you know, you need to get more punchlines per minute. Because if you look at the first season compared to the 10th season, the fucking speed of the punchlines is
right.
There's a lot more jokes. Yeah. It's a lot less serious.
Yeah.
You know.
There aren't long storylines like that have been established.
That, and also by the end of the episode, everything must
resolve.
Yeah,
it has to be resolved.
Or if it doesn't resolve, that's the joke, that it's not resolved.
Yeah.
Like I remember the episode where they walk out of church and it's hell, like the apocalypse hit.
Which episode? On what show?
The Simpsons.
Oh.
Yeah, they walk out of church and it's just like all fire around them. They're like, well, all right, here we go. And that's how the... but then the next episode is like...
They're back at it.
Yeah, back normal.
Well, cartoons are a little... But I feel what you're saying,
You could sort of do that with...
Like if I were like, sit down right now and write me an episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, I wouldn't...
Sit down right now and write me an episode of X-Files.
Yeah. Because I know the characters' voices in my head. Yeah. I know the characters' voices in my head. I hear the
Mueller and...
Well, I hear, also I know the pacing. I know what should be kind of happening. If it was a show that I never written for or heard of before, I would... If we're creating it, that's different.
I think it'd be interesting to see us watch one episode of a show that we don't know, that we've never seen before, watch one full episode of it, and then attempt to write another episode of the show. Like watching an episode of Twin Peaks and then writing the next episode.
Fuck, man, I gotta take acid if I'm gonna write an episode of Twin Peaks.
Fucking Twin Peaks. We should watch Twin Peaks and record it.
I don't know, man.
And then post it on YouTube. All right, well, guys, we're here at the
Saves for Kids.
Very end of the episode. Do you have any final thoughts before I close this out?
No, man.
Because it's already here at the end, man.
Are we doing this Wednesday also? Are we doing this coming week also? Because it's Sunday.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We'd have to.
Yeah.
To get caught up.
Yeah.
No final thoughts? No, you're good? Keep an eye out on anything?
Yeah, no, I'm just... My goal for coming up is just to film some things so I can start editing some things and so I can just start...
Editing's fun. Learning how to edit is very fun.
Yeah, but I need to
enjoy
film.
It.
I got like a 3 to 5 minute scene right now that I wrote out that I could just do real quick right now. Even the 10-minute one, there's a couple scenes that are just indoors. I'm looking into getting a prop gun too.
You have a prop gun, don't you?
No, like an actual... I got to cut the tip off maybe, but I've looked up like a $60 one that like cycles that when you shoot like...
Now I feel bad for you not ragging on Jane, but I remember we were talking about trying to get something going as far as like shooting stuff like years ago, and we can say that now because we've been out here years enough. But it's good finally that we're actually doing that.
Well, the thing is that I wasn't content with my story skills at that point. So writing and everything like that. Now I know I can write whatever the fuck I want, anytime I want, however I want.
True.
So now that I got that, it's like, okay, now I'm gonna film it. I already kind of know how to film. Like I just want to edit. I want to see that process from my filming to the editing to this little ending.
No, all of it happens in the Bay, dog.
Because the structure is there now. Now I'm just. Because there's 3 movies: the movie you write, the movie you film, and the movie you edit.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Here we
go. And then there's no longer relationship that happens during a movie than between the director and the editor.
Yes, because I don't want to kill the editor, so I want to be able to maybe edit myself.
Why did you think I wanted to learn how to edit? Like,
well,
I didn't want to.
If I do the 3 to 5 minute ones, I was thinking of giving you some of the things so you can edit it too. You wouldn't want to?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, I thought you were
right.
like, no.
No, I meant like that's exactly why I didn't want to have to find anybody, and it's the reason why I'm trying to figure out the After Effects stuff and why there's more stuff. Because when it comes to like, we need to put something in there, I want to just be like, okay, I know what we're doing. Like, I know which plugins we need to drop in on.
Yeah, because if you're stuck on someone, and that's the annoying part, because.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point, I can write, I can film.
We're one step closer. We're getting one step closer to the full process that we've been shooting for.
Just need to get the editing down now.
Nah, that's easy. We already have that. We're here. We're there. 2020 is a great year. Guys, please keep an eye out on all the rest of the shows. What's Hood with FC, which is available on YouTube and iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox. Make sure that you guys keep an eye out for Perry. Happy News with Perry Kurtz. And make sure that you guys wish Perry happy birthday if you can. He's a wonderful man.
Happy birthday, Perry.
He is a comedy genius. And then, guys, please make sure that you're following us, that you're sharing us, that you are subscribed. We're getting some stickers and some T-shirts set up and ready to go. I'm hoping within the next couple of months so that we can start sending that out to some people so you guys can have some stuff, some things that you could show other people. Wear some nice shirts, great thread count. Oh, Jesus, I'm all over the place. And just tell other people. 2020, it's a good year for us, good year for the channel. Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it?
Remember to love each other, stay safe, and dream the dream of 1,000 dreams. Right as the low battery came in.
Right as low battery.
Right as it came in. Wow, we're so